I've never been a big fan of running. It's always been my contention that if you really needed to get to someplace in a hurry, there were more practical options, like a car or public transportation or a ride in the back of a police cruiser if your night has turned out the tiniest bit less than well. I'd already been doing more than my unfair share of running on this particular night, and frankly it was getting a tad bit tiresome to say the least. Not that it stopped me, mind you, because it didn't. Something else, however, very much did. I just made my way around the bend in the latest in a series of shadowy and hopelessly garbage-strewn bends, into the waiting maw of one more semi-lightless and seemingly lifeless alleyway no less, when I saw it. And yes, I came to a stop all right, a dead stop. Because while the half-hearted street lamplight was still entirely less than altogether bright, or even dim for that matter, this alleyway du jour was anything but lifeless, far from it. I've known and encountered a lot of gals in my time. The female of the species is generally one of my favorite all-time subjects after all, even if they aren't always entirely receptive or even conscious for that matter, but this wholly angelic visage of the night looked hands down to wholeheartedly beat them all to the quick, and probably with a really big metaphorical stick. Standing in the cloistering alleyway shadows all but barefoot and silent in all her shapely and long-legged glory and then some, she genuinely looked like she really could have been some celestially angelic visitation sent down straight from the heavens above and beyond at that. Though where she really came from I could scantly begin to guess. Suddenly I was finding myself really not caring just where she might have come from or why, though her considerable lack of clothing might have had the tiniest bit to do with things on that point. Like her delectable-looking tootsies still planted firmly on the filthy alleyway floor beneath her, her enticingly fleshly form from nose to toes and then some was seemingly nearly as bare as the night was long. Even as I watched, she wordlessly raised one long-fingered hand up in front of her, and offered up the tiniest little hint of a gesture. Not the sort of gesture I was used to seeing from the ladies, mind you, rather this one had the unmistakable air of invitation. I paused, but only for a heartbeat, a skipped heartbeat in this particular case. I had no conceivable clue just who she was or why she was here or what she might possibly want with me, but if she thought her enticingly inviting feminine wiles would work on the likes of me, she was very much right and then some. Sure, a part of me was already trying to tell me that she was probably up to no good, that this whole little inexplicable alleyway encounter might possibly turn out altogether less than good, but another part of me was sounding an ever so slightly different alarm. As it turned out I should have listened to that first part, because once I was finally within reach of said impending liaison of lustiness, things abruptly began to change. Or rather, she did. A lot.
Want more Nick Slick? Of course you do. Just go to jamesontucker.com, where you'll find a link to the ebook that started it all, along with other cool stuff of course. Go now, you'll be glad you did.